Hi, my name is Jonas. This is Sublime Media, and on this channel I talk about records and record related stuff. Like today, when we are going to talk about some reissues, shelved records, Psych, Prog, folk, a little bit of everything. But first, cue music. So everyone know by now that I run a record shop called sublimemedia.se. Check it out. I'm pretty proud of it, actually. It's mostly for the Swedish viewers because everything is in Swedish krona. But I can send to anywhere in the world from like 15 euro and up. So if you find anything you like, give me a call. So this is new to me. I don't think it's a new issue from Gershon, but I can't say when it was put out. This is Salamander with the Ten Commandments, released in 1971, and it's a pop prog record. Not the best one that I've ever heard. Not the worst one either. I've had this original press on my want list since I don't know how long. And they actually did a reproduction of the original press because the sort of the cover artwork is actually a like 6-bar poster thingy. I won't show it now, but yeah. So some horns on this one too. So sometimes this reminds me of a flat out like prog record. Sometimes it's so poppy. I think I'm listening to a 60s Bee Gees record, and sometimes it's so much brass and horns that I feel like I came into Chicago or Blood, Sweat and Tears land. So this is bittersweet for me because I was so close in having a vinyl discussion with this guy and his wife. We had a date booked, we talked a lot about it, and I researched the hell out of this one, and I mixed up the time zones. So when everything was set up, I was going to do it, they were sound asleep. So 8 or 9 hours later, it was all gone. So hopefully someday. So I want to wait with showing you guys this until then, but yeah. So this is Dreaming Wild. This is, if there ever was a cult record, this is it. So by Donnie and Emerson, Donnie and Joe Emerson. If you don't know the story about this, you need to check it out. And you can do that in different sort of ways. You can go on Wikipedia and check it out. You can buy this from Light in the Attic Records because there is a great booklet included in this one with the entire story behind it. You can go to the cinema and watch the movie Dreaming Wild with Casey Affleck and Zooey Deschanel, or whatever her name is pronounced. Because that's a really good movie. Just got out with the story behind this one. But in a nutshell, those two guys was like 14 and 16 years old. They were going to school and they lived on a farm. So they did their chores, and their father really liked them exploring music, writing their own stuff. So he built them a studio in the middle of nowhere on the farm with recording equipment and instruments and everything. So Donnie, in this case, the youngest brother, he was like just spewing out songs of the songs, and it all culminated in this product. In 1979, they released their own record, and no one bought it. And they had boxes of it, and they sold very little, few copies. Until one day in the 2000s, when Light in the Attic got a hold on one of the original pressings, listened to it, got mind blown, and licensed it from the guys and the family, and put it out. And yeah, nowadays it's sort of a world success. I think that this is in print on Light in the Attic all the time. This is a light blue version, and as I said, it comes with a book about it. Nice gatefold sleeve. Yeah, beautiful story, beautiful record, and it really is. Like, when I heard this 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I don't know, but when I heard it the first time, I was as blown away as the first time I heard Big Star. And I feel like when I heard it, and still when I listen to this, it's almost like my own music. Sort of like no one else knows about this music but me. I get that feeling. Obviously, it's not true, but I get that feeling from it, and I love records like that. That you really feel like it's your own, treasure of sorts. Fantastic music, great story. Hope I'll get that conversation one day. So, if you have watched my channel for a while, you know that I'm a sucker for Italian prog, especially horror prog. And this, I just saw the cover artwork. I knew right away that it was Italian. I don't know why, but I did. And I ordered it right away. So this is Paura, if that's how you pronounce it, like Paura. A collection of Italian horror sounds from the Cam Sugar archives. This is, for me, this is a dream come true. Like every 2 LP set, every single song, every single second is like a soundtrack to your worst nightmare. Starts off with the maestro Ennio Morricone playing something, or one of his compositions. My Dear Killer from 1971, one of the tunes for that cult movie. And it just goes on from there. We actually played this in the background. I had it as a soundtrack when we played H.P. Lovecraft board games, me and my wife. Works perfect for that. And I'm not a compilation guy, but this was also a no-brainer. This is on the Numero group called Wayfaring Strangers, Acid Nightmares. And I remember back in the day with the vinyl community, everyone got this. And I was like, shit, I'm not buying any compilation records. It's for sissies. And here we are. I mean, this is such a quality release. Everything is just quality all the way through. And here you have the booklet includes some stories of the bands: Adornicus, Bulbous Creation, Goliath, Golem, Acid, Gifts. Yeah, this is a 2 LP set of 100% heavy psych monsters. If you're a Psych fan, this is a must. Like, this is a must-have. A must-have. Okay, continuing on. This is now. So now we're in Sweden, and I should say, and if I played it for you, you should also. I think you would say that this is from the 60s, but it's actually recorded in the 80s. I had no idea about the band, and maybe that's because I don't search out like 80s bands. But I had no idea about it. Got a sound sample or something, listened to it, bought this one, played it. It's awesome, and realized that one of the musicians, the singer and the guitarist, I actually spent an entire sort of week with at the record fair in Hova. His name is Måns, and he is a great guy. And I had no idea that he was a musician and or were in the Crimson Shadows. So recorded in the 80s, as I said, but it sounds more like a late 60s, early 70s production. They sing in English, but I would label this as the Swedish equivalent of 13th Floor Elevators, and I think that they would be pretty happy when labeling it like that. The only thing, except for the awesome garagey tunes, which are, every single one is very, and I don't say this as something negative, but it's very sort of, every song reminds me of the other one that just, went by. But all of them are high class 60s garage sounding. But I think on the B side or something like that, they have sampled sort of porno sounds and dialogue. And I remember, because I listened to this in my living room, my wife came in and said, "What the fuck are you listening to?" So that was kind of neat. Just fast flying through this because if you don't know, you should. This is Leah Ryder's group, singles from 1966 to 68. This was released on a major label, Universal in this case, and I think that it's so brave of them to do that, because sure, they are pretty known here in Sweden, definitely the artists themselves, but they only released, the Leah Ryder's group released like 7 singles or something like that. So this is a compilation of all the singles. But they are Håkan Franzén, who went on to play with different band constellations and had a great solo career. Still alive and kicking today. But you also have Steen Borgud and Bosse Häggström, which is 2/3 of made in Sweden. So this is where it all began. Very important for the Swedish garage, psych, prog sort of movement in late 60s. When you listen to interviews, read about the prog movement in the 60s, 70s, many of them are referencing the Lee Riders group. So that is kind of neat. So great compilation, cheap one. You can get it anywhere in Sweden at least. So yeah, Can. You all know that I love Can. You all love Can. But I have to say, after the Damo Suzuki years, I haven't listened too much. I don't have it on vinyl, and I haven't put down the time to listen to. So in this case, this is a really good sort of way for me to get into that. This is live in Cuxhaven 1976, and this is part of a series of 3 records. So this is in Cuxhaven. I think that the next one, also in 1976, is from Bristol or something like that. And they are actually now, and I've pre-ordered that, they are releasing the 4th in the series called Live in Paris, I think. And they are all from like 75, 76, this time period. And this is great, like improvised jammy kraut at its best. And all the titles is just called Cuxhaven 76 1, 2, 3 and 4. So yeah, long ass jams by one of my favorite groups of all time. So I just want to show you this. It's going to be shown again in our recent vinyl finds later on when I talk about jazz. But Jackie McLean's Diamond Dance. I just want to show this because sometimes record cover artwork is not at all like the music. So when I see this, I think of Bitches Brew. And Bitches Brew, when I see that, I think of the music. And the music and the artwork for Bitches Brew, I think is perfect. They really sort of speak to each other. This sounds nothing like this artwork. So it's awesome when you get records that sounds exactly like the artwork, like this one, Jacula. A 70s Italian record that costs you 2 arms and a leg, and then like 3,000 euros, something like that, to get an original, if not even more. So a good pressed reissue of this with some like inserts and stuff like that is more than welcome. And I think this is kind of it's not super expensive. Pretty affordable if I remember it correctly. Sounds great. And the music, as I said before, I'm a sucker for that horror-esque Italian prog. A lot of classical leanings on this one, but great. And so is this. Spaced Out Japanese prog, Far Out 1973, if I remember correct. I don't know if they did anything else. And I like the OBs, the OB that comes with it. Great little touch. Yeah, a little bit like early Floyd, maybe. I think it's highly influenced by that spacey sound, but they definitely have something of their own. So yeah, one that's been on my want list for ever and ever. So when I saw that they were releasing that, I jumped on it. A collecting buddy of mine here in Sweden, they had a collection Purge, and I got this for like 10 euros, something like that, and that's the price for it. You can get it on Discogs for about that price, and if I were you, I would jump on right away, because this is brilliant. This is Dave White and the Marion Siegel, and I have no idea why he sold this. Hopefully he had duplicates, or maybe it was the label, but this is called Paper Flowers. Now, Dave White and Marion Siegel later, after this duo setting, headed out to form Jade, the British folk band. But they only survived that record, and they split up shortly afterwards. So that is great, but I think that this is even better. And this is just a compilation of the recordings, the few recordings that they made between 1967, 68 and 69, something like that. Jade came out in 1970. They do some Dylan covers, and the recording quality is just like up and down, because some of it is live, some of it seems to be like radio shows or something like that, and some is studio, more studio recordings. But it's brilliant. The only flaw with this one is that it's on Karma, and it's the only way to get it on vinyl, because it's a sort of a compilation. They never put out anything when they were active, and I don't have any problem with Karma when it comes to the quality of the pressing, and when it comes to the quality of the jackets. I think that the audio quality is a hit and miss when it comes to Karma, because most of it is needle drops, CD rips, or digital files. But what I don't like about Karma is that they seem to be pretty sketchy when it comes to paying the artists. I had a great talk with Steve Giles from Dark, and he both hails Karma for making Dark what Dark is today, but also they don't pay for what they press and put out. So anyways, like love and hate relationship with that label for me. Moving on, 3 more to go, then I will set you off into the big world outside of this YouTube realm. Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators, and lo and behold, this is the first time I own this in any format. Like, I talk about Psych and Prog all day long on this channel. I've done that for many years now, and this is the first time I own this this record. So yeah, shame on me, I know. This is the latest reissue, I think. So a 2 LP set in a gatefold, and I'm not the biggest sort of spokesman for colored vinyl, but when you do it like this, I think it's pretty damn cool. So yeah, and the quality of the audio quality of this is just like so. I think that it's equal with any stream that I've heard. Really, I don't know. I don't think that this is from any analog tape or anything like that. But I have nothing to compare to, and it sounds good. So what you get is 2 LP sets, mono, stereo. That's it. Important. Finally, in the collection. So yeah, I'm not a huge Brazilian guy. I know a lot of the people in this vinyl community of ours here on YouTube. Collects and listens to a lot of Brazilian music. I don't, but I've started to dip my toe in it, and I actually bought like a handful of releases to put up in the shop, because Mr. Bongo that put this out is pretty affordable, so you can buy it and still put a price tag on it that is pretty affordable for the customer. And some of them that Mr. Bongo has released are like super iconic records like this. So 1972, Arthur Verocai. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Verocai. I'll pronounce it like that. He recorded this big band, like really, and you have influences. There are jazz, there are bossa nova, obviously, Brazilian Afro funk, a little bit, and soul, a little bit of everything really on this. And the band is huge, like almost like a big orchestra or something like that. But didn't sell anything back in 1972, so it just went away. And this is also like one of those 2,000-3,000 euro records if you want an original first press of this one. But Mr. Bongo did a great job. A little bit of an unfocused photo, I think. This is a scan of something. They probably didn't get the original photo or anything like that. Music quality, great. As I said, affordable copies. Mr. Bongo is doing a good job. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you today is also Mr. Bongo. So let's stay in Mr. Bongo land, shall we? This is Akira Ikasawa, I think it's called, and the Buffaloes, something like that. Recorded in 1973, 2. 2. And I hope that this is reproducing the original press with the box set, because there's only one disc in here and it's going all over the place. So I mean, it's the most unnecessary sort of packaging you could ever imagine. Anyway, let's get to the music. So I had no idea this existed. I sampled it online, bought it right away, and I was even more blown away when it got home and I played it on my nicer setup than earphones in my workspace. What you get is a guitarist, a bassist, and a percussionist. And you start out right away with the percussion. They lay out a solo, and the solo is great, but the recording quality is just from another dimension. You get this 3D big ass stage. The bongos are going everywhere in the room, and then the wailing guitar, fuzzy guitar comes in and just takes over, and it's a fucking ride, I have to say. So of all the records that I showed you today, this is my recommendation actually, because this, if you don't know about this, I'm betting you will be pretty blown away, like I was when I heard it the first time. So yeah, sample it, feel it out, and again, if you want an original press, it's like 3,000 euro. And this is also affordable, just like the other ones, even if it comes in a box set. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. And yeah, if you have any questions, just put them down below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. So you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and give this a thumbs up, because it really helps. It really does. Now, if you want more content, then just look me up on Instagram. I put stuff up there before YouTube, so a little bit of what's coming up, so to speak. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you in my next video.